Right, I'm back. Awesome. A link on Twitter. If I can. We're back. And we'll just have to hope. Hey, we're back. Keep saying it's reconnecting, but it never really does it? Never mind. Can get everything ready to keep going. 1, 2. 2 viewers. How many did we have before? 12? Suppose we should wait until 12 get here. 3. Hello. New Zealand internet. Gotta love it. Yep. Okay. I'm gonna wait until we got the 12 people who were there before. Yeah, pretty much. It would also be nice to have dental care. And decent mental health care. It's free, but it's not good. Although, decent mental health care isn't really anywhere on the planet, I think. So, we've got 4. I'm going to wait until we're up to our previous. Yes, you should become a dental therapist. Yep. You got to whisper to the teeth about how strong they are and how they should start keeping a journal. My teeth kept a journal. I would just buy a diary and go. So all the pages had bite marks all over it. I'd be like, kept a journal of my feelings. Sorry that those are my feelings. We got 5. 5 are back. No, I keep checking the door to see if Fitz is back. He's been in and out of the house 1,000 times today. It's really annoying. Flora's outside. She's running around, I don't know, committing murder on things, I think. And Niobe's asleep on my bed. Close to 1,000. Definitely close to 1,000 times. Yeah, Niobe's sleeping on my bed, leaving tumbleweeds of cat hair behind, which I'm allergic to. Her hair or pollen on it, don't know which. So I'm going to have to change my sheets again today. Oh, she definitely dreams of murder. Pathologic 2 I have not checked out. I've watched some walkthroughs of Pathologic. We don't really have a protagonist yet, Daniel. Yeah, no COVID over good internet. That makes sense. Yeah. I've been playing Vampire, which is all about the 1918 flu. So that seems oddly on the nose. But yeah, shitty internet. Not much COVID. Very, very little. Vampire, I like it. It's good, but my controller broke. And I need money. Like, the money that I have has to go on a bunch of other stuff that broke earlier. So, won't be streaming that for a little while. But never mind. We got 6 people. I don't really want to start until we've got everyone back. Les Vampires by Louis Foyard. No. I don't know what that is. Does it have a picture of two naked ladies on the like DVD cover? Because I may have seen it in, a video shop, Video Easy or something, years and years ago. It sounds cool. I'm just basing that off vampires. Oh. Yeah, I do know where we left off. I am going to start up there again. I think if people really wanted to hear the next part, they would have found their way here by now. Oh. Interesting. Oh, it might be on Netflix. I don't know. Sounds vaguely familiar. But yeah, I do know where we left off, and I do know where we're starting up again, Daniel. I need to wash my hair. Okay, we got 7 people. I'm going to call 7 out of 13. Pretty much everyone. Okay, so Hermavir. I've heard of it. It's an anagram for vampire. Clever. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. Like so many. Okay, so this is. My goodness. There's this clock. Every time it dongs the hour, everyone flips their shit. We're gonna have to try and check that one out, yeah. And all the music stops and all the dances stop and everything, and everyone's like, oh, that fucking clock is chiming again. Unplug it. Come on. When the echoes had fully ceased, a light laughter at once pervaded the assembly. The musicians looked at each other and smiled, as if at their own nervousness and folly, and made whispering vows, each to the other, that the next chiming of the clock should produce in them no similar emotion. And then, after the lapse of 60 minutes, which embraced 3,600 seconds of time that flies, there came yet another chiming of the clock, and then with the same disconcert and tremulousness and meditation as before. This clock sucks, is the moral. But in spite of these things, it was a gay and magnificent revel. The tastes of the Duke were peculiar. He had a fine eye for colour and effects. He disregarded the decora of mere fashion. His plans were bold and fiery, and his conceptions glowed with barbaric lustre. There are some who would have thought him mad. His followers felt that he was not. It was necessary to hear and see and touch him to be sure he was not. Interesting. He had directed in great part. I don't know any of those things. Hello, my love. You coming up? Do you want to see the people? Do you want to see the people? Don't think so. She might join us. Yeah, I got Red Death at that party, but no, it's Flora. Flora's coming. I got Red Death, but God, that fucking clock. Oh my God. I was totally there too, and that clock, oh my God. Were you like, okay, next time when the clock goes, I'm not going to do it, but then you totally did it? I was. Oh. Unplug the clock, Prospero, Jesus. He had directed, in great part, the movable embellishments of the 7 chambers upon occasion of this great fete, and it was his own guiding taste which had given character to the masqueraders. Be sure they were grotesque. Flora's in and she's crunching up some cat bickies, so she'll probably come up here in a minute. There was much glare and glitter and piquancy and phantasm, much of what have been seen in Hernani, which I guess is a play of the age or something. There were arabesque figures with unsuited limbs and appointments. There were delirious fancies such as the madman fashions. There was much of the beautiful, much of the wanton, much of the bizarre, something of the terrible, and not a little of that which might have excited disgust. To and fro in the 7 chambers stalked, in fact, a multitude of dreams. And these the dreams, writhed in and about, taking hue from the rooms, and causing the wild music of the orchestra to seem as the echo of their steps. And anon there strikes the ebony clock which stands in the hall of the velvet. And then for a moment all is still, and all is silent save the voice of the clock. The dreams are stiff frozen as they stand. But the echoes of the chime die away. They have endured but an instant, and a light, subdued laughter floats after them as they depart. Piquancy. And now the music swells, and the dreams live and writhe to and fro more merrily than ever, taking hue from the many-tinted windows through which stream the rays of the tripods. But to the chamber which lies most westwardly of the 7, there are now none of the maskers who venture, for the night is waning away, and there flows a ruddier light through the blood-coloured panes, and the blackness of the sable drapery appalls. And to him whose foot falls on the sable carpet, there comes from the near clock of ebony a muffled peal, more solemnly emphatic than any which reaches their ears who indulge in the more remote gaieties of the other apartments. So there's like a scary room, and the clock is even more of a pain in the ass if you're in the scary room, basically. I keep thinking I hear fits. I had some expenses this week, and I'm on the antihistamines that are technically the same as the usual ones that I take, but are much cheaper and do not work as well. N2O. I don't know what N2O is. Nitrogen dioxide? Oh, I bet I wouldn't be scared of that room. I'd be like, Flora. Oh, don't go in there, sweetheart. Flora's about to go into my room to find out that Naibi's on the bed. Nitrous oxide. Oh, laughing gas. I don't know. I've never had it myself. Sorry. I'm sure it was. Sounds fun. But these other apartments were densely crowded, and in them beat feverishly the heart of life. And the revel went whirlingly on, until at length there commenced the sounding of midnight upon the clock. And then the music ceased, as I have told, and the evolutions of the waltzes were quieted. I think they mean revolutions, but I'm not sure. And there was an uneasy cessation of all things as before. But now there were 12 strokes to be sounded by the bell of the clock. And thus it happened, perhaps, that more of thought crept with more of time into the meditations of the thoughtful among those who revelled. And thus too it happened that before the last echoes of the last chime had utterly sunk into silence, there were many individuals in the crowd who had found leisure to become aware of the presence of a masked figure which had arrested the attention of no single individual before. And the rumour of this new presence having spread itself whisperingly around, there arose at length from the whole company a buzz or murmur of horror and of disgust. Well, here, dentists don't do that. They just give you an injection in your gum. Even though you're paying for it, they might at least give you something fun. Ridiculous. In an assembly of phantasms such as I have painted, it may well be supposed that no ordinary appearance could have excited such sensation. In truth, the masquerade license of the night was nearly unlimited, but the figure in question had out-Heroded Herod and gone beyond the bounds of even the prince's indefinite decorum. There are chords in the hearts of the most reckless which cannot be touched without emotion. Even with the utterly lost, to whom life and death are equally jests. That's Twitter. There are matters of which no jest can be made. The whole company, indeed, seemed now deeply to feel that in the costume and bearing of the stranger neither wit nor propriety existed. Yes, every time I see I hear about nitrous oxide, I think about Steve Martin using it in Little Shop of Horrors. Terrifying. I haven't seen it as an adult, just as a kid. Come on, sweetie. Come up and see the people. They love you. Come on, Flora. Flora. No, she's going to be a bitch. The figure was tall and gaunt, and shrouded from head to foot in the habiliments of the grave. The mask which concealed the visage was made so nearly to resemble the countenance of a stiffened corpse that the closest scrutiny must have difficulty in detecting the cheat. And yet all this might have been endured, if not approved, by the mad revellers around. But the mummer had gone so far as to assume the type of the Red Death. His vesture was dabbled in blood, and his broad brow, with all the features of his face, was besprinkled with the scarlet horror. Can we get some blood going in chat? When the eyes of Prince Prospero fell on this spectral image, which, with a slow and solemn movement, as if more fully to sustain its role, stalked to and fro among the waltzes, he was seen to be convulsed in the first moment with a strong shudder either of terror or distaste, but in the next his brow reddened with rage. Yeah, blood! Blood! Who dares, he demanded hoarsely of the courtiers who stood near him, who dares insult us with this blasphemous mockery? Seize him and unmask him, that we may know whom we have to hang at sunrise from the battlements. Don't know why you wait till sunrise, but okay. It was in the eastern or blue chamber in which stood Prince Prospero as he uttered these words. They rang throughout the 7 rooms loudly and clearly, for the prince was a bold and robust man, and the music had become hushed at the waving of his hand. Yeah, whoa. Have a little decorum, please. Trying to do something with a donkey and a pot of honey over here, or whatever it was. It was in the blue room where stood the prince, with a group of pale courtiers by his side. At first, as he spoke, there was a slight rushing movement of this group in the direction of the intruder, who, at the moment, was also near at hand, and now, with deliberate and stately step, made closer approach to the speaker. But from a certain nameless awe with which the mad assumptions of the mummer had inspired the whole party, there were found none who put forth a hand to seize him, so that unimpeded he passed within a yard of the prince's person. And while the vast assembly, as with one impulse, shrank from the centres of the rooms to the walls, he made his way uninterruptedly, but with the same solemn and measured step which had distinguished him from the first, through the blue chamber to the purple, from the purple to the green, through the green to the orange, through this again to the white, and even thence to the Violet, ere a decided movement had been made to arrest him. No, Helen Vaughan not here, sadly. It was then, however, that the Prince Prospero, maddened with rage and the shame of his own momentary cowardice, rushed hurriedly through the 6 chambers, while none followed him on account of a deadly terror that had seized upon all. He bore aloft a drawn dagger, and had approached, in rapid impetuosity, to within 3 or 4 feet of the retreating figure, when the latter, having attained the extremity of the velvet apartment, turned suddenly and confronted his pursuer. There was a sharp cry, and the dagger dropped gleaming upon the sable carpet, upon which, most instantly afterward, fell prostrate in death the Prince Prospero. Then, summoning the wild courage of despair, a throng of the revellers at once threw themselves into the black apartment, and seizing the mummer, whose tall figure stood erect and motionless within the shadow of the ebony clock, gasped in unutterable horror at finding the grave cerements and corpse-like mask, which they handled with so violent a rudeness, untenanted by any tangible form. And now was acknowledged the presence of the Red Death. He had come like a thief in the night, and one by one dropped the revellers in the blood-bedewed halls of their revel, and died each in the despairing posture of his fall. And the life of the ebony clock went out with that of the last of the gay, and the flames of the tripods expired, and darkness and decay, and the Red Death held illimitable dominion over all. The end. Oh, I've always loved illustrations of this, except they usually show the guest having like a skull mask rather than the mask of a dead person. Yeah. Personally, I really like the lighting setup. It sounds interesting. Not gonna sneeze. Everybody did die at the end. Thanks, Daniel. I got here from clicking on a tweet as well. Was the tweet about this video. And it was already filming me. Yeah, I like the themed rooms as well. And I like how vague he was about how debauched the party was. Because that wasn't really the point. He was like, look, they're a bunch of rich people. It's an apocalypse. They've shut themselves in this castle. You know what's up, right? So they're doing that, which you can imagine for yourself. But also there's a scary room with a red light, and there's this clock that just pisses everyone off. Yeah, but everybody would want to be the Red Death, which I don't think would be very fair. Oh, a vampire ball with themed rooms. That does sound superb. I could be the Blue Death. The cholera. Or the Black Death, which is plague. Or the Yellow Death, which is malaria. Or what's the White Death? I think it's HIV/AIDS. I did a paper in uni about the Black Death and other plagues. So I read a bunch of stuff about plagues, and it was really interesting. Oh yeah, phosphorus, yeah. I have been invited to a Halloween party this month, although I'm not decided on a costume. Because there are often little kids there, even past the hour when the little kids are supposed to have gone home. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll call it the foul death of the English. That's what the Scottish called it, because it was coming south, like from the south. And they're like, the English are all dying of plague, that's hilarious. And of course, the plague crept northwards, and didn't really mind the border, just kept going. But the Scots had a pretty good time laughing for a little while. Hmm. Yeah. No, it's okay to be racist against the English. I mean, this is a New Zealand was a British colony, still is, or something. So we all hate them here. No offense, guys. But yeah. So yeah, thinking of a costume, pretty difficult because one year we went and there were some little kids, like 2 and 4 years old. And luckily I was really tired. So I just threw together a Snow White costume. Because a girl showed up in this incredible demon costume. Like, it was amazing. It was theater props level, you know? And these little kids were freaking the fuck out. Like, they did not want to be in a house with a demon, and their parents didn't want to go home. So, Robert Duncan. Nice. Yeah. Same. So these kids are freaking out. And I'm like, okay, I'll take you to the bedroom and we'll read a story. We're going to the bedroom and the fucking demon is there in the hallway. And I'm like, don't you worry. I'm a princess and I've got powers. And I'm looking at John, who's in the chat. I'm looking at my friend John. I'm like, "No, demon, you go into the bathroom and you shut the door." And this girl who doesn't know me is looking at me like, what the fuck are you talking about? And John's like, just kind of pulls her into the bathroom, shuts the door. I'm like, come on, kids, come on. And we run into the bedroom, shut the door. I'm like, whew, we did it. And I have told that demon she cannot come into this room. So I read them some stories, and then I came out and met the girl in the demon costume, and she was like, yeah, I had no idea what was going on. So I was very powerful for one evening. Yeah, it would. The Mask of the Red Death plus the story of how I saved Halloween. So yeah, don't know about a costume yet. If you saw a demon and you did record it, you would be nuts. Like, well, not nuts, but you'd be a bit of a rube. I see demons all the time. Or, I mean, I don't, but like, if I did, I would try and act cool and like I'd seen one before, just to not give it the satisfaction of having freaked me out. I'd be like, yeah. Yeah, no, man, I've seen demons. It's like whatever to me at this point. And the demon would be so embarrassed it would just go away. So that was the Mask of the Red Death. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to try and stream the White People. Kind of wanted to do it tonight. I do not currently see any demons. I do not currently see what I believe to be demons apart from my cat. Come on, sweetie. Come on. Come on. You've been teasing all the people who want to see you. Treat them and keep them keen. Sorry, I'm trying to get the treats. Aha. She doesn't even like these ones. Come on, sweetie. Before we say goodbye to the people. Do I have a picture of Obama in my home? I might. I have a ton of hoarder shit. Not on the walls, though. I don't like having pictures of people on the walls. What's that? What is it? Come on. Yeah, there she is. There's Flora. What? Oh, nice. You come around and then the people can see you. Whoops. Oh. Hmm? My sweetie girl. That's Flora. Naya Bear's watching her, so I gotta go feed them. Thanks so much for joining me for the Mask of the Red Death. That was my cat's ass. And I will see you later for Arthur Markin's The White People. See you guys soon. Wash your hands. Be good to each other. See yous.